the time was, it depends. And so I wrote more about that and posted it at the link. I also wrote 2 longer articles this week. So there's often new stuff happening on my blog. I'll feel free to check it out and ask questions.
Very good. Okay, we have started recording, so I'm going to start the meeting. Welcome, everyone. This is the IIBA Tampa Bay, Florida chapter study group for March of 2023. Today is the 9th of March. We're on a 69th class. We're going to be going over the BABOK Chapter 8 Solution Evaluation Practice Test Questions. This chapter has a mission to bridge the gap between industry leaders and business analysts by building partnerships with professionals, educators, and employers so we may empower, instruct, and engage the BA community. You are currently attending the Thursday night study group from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. Regardless of where you are, welcome. Our past meeting recordings are here in turquoise. It's been dropped also in the chat if you'd like to access it. Someone asked a while ago if we had a class on how to apply for the test. That is class number 8, and you can see that meeting recording at this link. We also have a variety of other ways that you can access us. We have the IIBA site, we have Meetup, we have Zoom, Facebook, and we have 2 different LinkedIn pages. As I said, this is our, oh my goodness, it's our 69th class. We're about to hit 70. We've gone over the BABOK study questions once. We're on our way through it a second time. We've also had a couple of classes on what it's really like to take this test, professions that you need to be aware of as you are a BA in different industries. And we have also been sponsored the entire time by Watermark Learning. Watermark is one of several different organizations that's endorsed by the IIBA as an education provider. They've also given us the discount code. It's Tampa with a space and then 21. Using that code for their products or services will get you 20% off of their prices. Our chapter is a volunteer-run organization. Cliff Gray is our president. Our vice president of finance is Lori. Caitlin and Priscilla are board members at large. My name is Thea Soren. I am the Vice President of Career and Professional Development for the chapter, which means it's my responsibility to identify things that you want to learn, create provisions for those things, help you with your resume, help you with your career, help you with situations that you have as a business analyst. That's what I'm here for, and I need you to come to me through LinkedIn if you like to engage my assistance. We do need some new board members. Specifically, we are looking for board members that have a finance background or are interested in or have experience incorporating in the state of Florida. We are currently incorporating our chapter, and if you have any experience of that, just your experience would be beneficial to us, as well as if you have any other experience or want to hone a skill, we can probably put you to work. This is not a long-term commitment. This is reaching out to help the community that has helped you. We are joined today by Bob Churchill and Yulia Petrina. I will never say that right, Yulia, I'm so sorry. They have both earned their CBAP certifications, and they are here providing their support to us. Because we are able to give you an hour's worth of education credit for attending this class, we have to have a CBAP that's here on premise or with us while we have the class, so that they can lean in and say, wait a minute, that's not quite how it works on the test. And so that's what they're here for. Bob has put in the chat a link to an article he recently wrote that answered a question from a previous meeting. You can also see his other articles here at rpchurchill.com. He's been hard at work answering questions and providing more material for business analysts. That's not only specific to business analysis. He also has information on mechanical engineering, simulation creation, a variety of other things that's rather interesting. I encourage you to go out and look at what he has. He's also giving you access to him by email here. Let's see. We have had several people earn their certifications through the IIBA after attending this class, saying that this class is beneficial for them, and I hope it's beneficial for everyone, but we want to celebrate the wins. Tish earned her ECBA, which is a beginning business analysis certification, in August, and Yulia earned her CBAP certification in September. Okay, we're going to switch over to the class itself. We are going to go to Watermark Learning, and let me shut this down. I tell you what, before we go to Watermark Learning, I'm going to ask you to grab a pencil or a pen or a marker or something. I received an email this week of something that you might be interested in. One of the other providers for education credit from the IIBA is Adaptive US. It's one that Bob used whenever he went through his certification training, just to be sure he knew everything he needed to, and he did. But they are giving out, they have a free live interactive session on March 22nd, which is Wednesday, and it is to cover the case-based questions, those questions that give you a scenario and then they ask you a couple of different questions about that. So if you want to go to the Adaptive US website, you'll be able to get access to that free class. They also are offering a third, let me see, they're offering a 30%, no, I'm sorry. They're saying that it's a 30% failure rate for CBAP test takers. So they want to provide this information, as well as during that class, they are going to provide 50 CBAP mock exam questions and answers at the end of that webinar. So if you're interested, there's that. So today we're going to go over the Chapter 8 solution evaluation test questions. We're going to go over 25 questions. This is a drill. It is my job to read the question to you and read the answers to you. It is your job to tell me if any of the answers are absolutely not true according to the BABOK, and then tell me which one you think is true. And I'm going to ask you to also provide your reason. The conversation we have at that point is what provides the benefit of this class. So please do lean in and give us your opinion. Even if you make a mistake, it gives us the opportunity to learn. So we need your participation. If you're quiet, you don't help the community. If you speak up, we all learn. So question number 1, which tool used to support assessing enterprise limitations is defined as follows: boundaries of the proposed, new, removed, or modified components of the enterprise, as well as the potential value expected from the future state. Is this the future state descriptions, risk analysis results, current state descriptions, or solution scope?
A, future state descriptions.
I'm sorry, give me a letter, please.
A for apple.
A for apple. Okay, do I have another answer? I mean, another
B,
vote?
solution scope. It's the boundaries of the proposed new so
Okay.
scopes, yeah.
So you think this is the correct answer?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think this is also because it mentioned that as well potential value expected from the future state. So I think this is
Exactly.
solution is for the potential value in the future.
This is confusing because the last word is future state, right?
Uh-huh.
And but then the first word is boundaries, and I first started thinking it was solution scope, and sometimes I feel like I should go with my first instincts, but future state is awfully tempting. Does anybody have like a reasoning why, what the difference is between future state description and solution scope?
I think solution scope is the boundary of the future state. So once we have defined the future state descriptions, we need to, everything is not achievable. Then we have to limit some of these items after doing risk analysis. So
what about potential value? Does potential
Yeah, I guess
value is
future
included in
state-
solution scope?
yeah.
I guess future state gives you potential value, whereas solution scope is more of like, what is the scope of the solution? Like you're defining the scope of the solution.
Remember the
Whereas
name
the
of the
potential
knowledge area.
value. Come again?
Remember the name of the knowledge area that we're studying.
So
Hmm.
future state is not really we're talking about evaluating the current system. So that could eliminate future state, right? We're talking about evaluating. So I'm going to go with D as well, just because it says boundaries and just knowing that we're in this, but that's kind of like when you're taking the test, you won't know that this is about chapter 8, right?
Exactly. That's why we
That's true.
should not generally rely which chapter we are on.
That's true.
But this question mentions assessing enterprise limitation. That's chapter 8.
Yes.
Yeah, it's number 4 task.
Okay, let's check the answer just in the interest of time.
Ooh.
Oh,
We were
Okay.
correct.
So,
Because yes, solution scope
tricky.
does not include potential value, but future state description, yeah.
okay,
does
so
include.
future state description does talk about potential value. Is that what we said?
And yeah, it
Yeah.
talks about potential value, and future state description is related to guidelines and tools.
Okay, good to know. See, the conversation is more important. Okay, let me scroll up. Delivery sales have been decreasing by 5% year over year for a company's bottled water offering. This water is delivered to a subscriber's door in a 5-gallon plastic jugs, which fit on top of a dispenser. This is a common product in the bottled water industry. Alan has been asked to assess the solution to understand the reason for declining sales as it has been the company's steady source of revenue. For the above scenario, please answer question 1 of 1 below. Alan found as the population of the customer segment subscribing to the service aged, the 5-gallon jugs were simply too heavy to hoist onto the water dispenser, causing them to cancel the service. Alan brainstormed potential solutions and immediately completed a financial analysis to understand the cost benefit of manufacturing jugs that held 2.5 versus 5 gallons. He was proud of the fact that the 2.5 gallon jugs could have the same neck, so it would fit in the existing dispensers. His recommendation was to go ahead with the manufacture of the new jugs along with the win-back campaign for lost customers. What might be missing in his recommendation? He needs to provide alternative actions in addition for consideration. Nothing is missing in his recommendation. Al's process and recommendation was right on. He needs to provide decision makers with a view of what will happen if they do nothing. He needs to complete a risk analysis. According to the BABOK, are any of these answers, should they be ignored?
We can straight up ignore B, I guess, because yeah, there's always room for improvisation. So, and on
Yes.
that said, I think it might be C or D, but we can eliminate B for sure.
Okay, what do you like, C or D?
Can you
I
maximize your
choose C.
browser, Thea? Sorry.
I can. Maybe I can. Let's see if I can.
Perfect. Thank you.
Is that, do you want me to make it the text larger, Cliff?
Oh, no, that's
It's
good. Thank you.
Okay,
And so when it's C option, it says he needs to provide decision makers with a view of what will happen if they do nothing. So is the decision makers any alternative word used here for stakeholders just to confuse us, or can decision makers be stakeholders by any chance?
I would interpret that as managers, senior managers, and they are definitely stakeholders.
Yeah, I think I'm also between A and C, but probably I would go for C because option do nothing is also option. And in my master classes, professors always say that option do nothing is always option.
I think I was leaning in this toward A in that respect, because alternative actions, don't they include do nothing? And don't we need to tell the decision makers all of our considerations, like this is our recommended solution, or you could do nothing, or we considered some other thing, and this is why we eliminated doing nothing, and this is why we eliminated the other action, like making even smaller bottles or something like that. So it
Yeah,
seems
that's why
like
it's so tricky.
that seems like A is a bigger umbrella of options, and C is within that umbrella, which is do nothing is one of your options. I'm
I
going to
think
go.
it's D actually, when like I am totally different view, because they have provided some suggestion, recommendation, but they didn't provide what is the downside of this particular thing that they're suggesting. So he needs to complete a risk analysis.
Okay.
Like,
Can I get
My
one more
God.
vote? And in the interest of time, we'll move forward.
I'll go with C because nothing, do nothing is one of the solutions.
Okay, it's one of the potential possibilities. Okay,
It's hard.
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to check the answers here. See if I can check the answers. Here we go. Drum roll, please. The answer
D.
was D. He needs to complete
Renu,
the
right? Renu was
analysis.
saying, yeah.
Assumptions are risk. That's a cool way to be reminded of that. He is assuming that people will be able to lift the 2.5 gallon jug. I will say that he's under 35 years old. Things change as you get older, guys, and you don't realize it. Okay. What are the three major considerations of a business analyst that business analysts must consider when conducting stakeholder impact analysis on a solution? Understanding, perception, and awareness, functions, locations, and concerns, policies, capabilities, and risk tolerance, or necessity, opportunity, cost, and sunk costs.
it's functions, locations, and
B,
concerns.
functions, locations, and concerns.
Ooh, I got 2 votes right away. Let's go.
Mhm.
And it is right. It's like y'all read the BABOK or something. Cool. Good job. Okay. DIMA is a BA assigned to the evaluation of a solution that isn't delivering value for the level forecasted during the project. She's gone into the project archive and is reviewing all available project documentation. Why is she doing that? She is working to understand the potential value of the solution. She is primarily concerned with the solution requirements to ensure current performance measures are relevant. She is trying to familiarize herself with the stakeholders impacted by the solution, and she is reviewing the project objectives to better understand what the solution is supposed to achieve.
So I guess we can also eliminate A straight up, because she's the first line says the solution isn't delivering value. So how is she still working to understand the potential value? So I think A can be eliminated for that reason.
Okay. So what do we think the right answer is?
B, she's primarily concerned with solution requirements to ensure current performance measures are relevant.
Okay, I have a second vote.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
okay. Let's check it. And
oops.
Wow.
Wow.
Potential value is listed as an input to analyze performance measures, which is what the question is asking.
Yeah.
The forecasted level is a benchmark against the solution performance can be evaluated. Well.
Yeah, but again, the question is weird. So she knows that the value is not delivering.
Yeah.
So I guess she should have understanding of that value. I don't know, the question is not good.
I think this is a non-optimal question, and the questions on the exam are likely to not be confusing in this particular way.
Okay,
They'll still be confusing.
They still be confusing, yes.
In order to evaluate solution performance, a BA must have which of the following available? A working solution and a business objective, constructed solution and identified defects, business objectives and identified defects of the solution, or business objectives and designed solution?
It's A, working solution and business objectives. Identify defects as in B and C is nothing. It's identified risks, but not the defects. So we can eliminate B and C, and design solution is also not a term I've heard as per BABOK. So my bet is on A.
Okay,
Yep.
do I have a second vote?
Yes,
A is correct.
he is right.
Look at y'all. Look at you. That's
Also,
awesome.
that applies to parts of the solution as well. So you
Yes.
can evaluate all the components against whatever KPIs you set up.
Very nice. Which guideline and tools are leveraged to support assessing solution limitations? So assessing solution limitations is a task. Risk analysis results, future state description, and solution scope. Change strategy, risk analysis results, and solution scope. Solution scope decomposition, risk mitigation analysis, and change management. Or change strategy, risk mitigation results, solution scope implementation. So we're looking for guidelines and tools for this task. Are any of these not guidelines and tools or do not apply to this task?
Yeah, C and D don't apply. Like there's nothing solution scope, decomposition, or risk mitigation results. They are not any guidelines.
Okay,
I'll go with B, change strategy, risk analysis results. B as in boy, yeah.
I agree.
okay, let's check it. Good job. Which task of solution evaluation identifies root causes and describes how enterprise factors limit the solution's value realization? Assess enterprise limitations, assess solution limitations, measure solution performance, or analyze potential value and recommended solution.
So I think identifying root causes is in solution limitation, assessing solution limitation. But enterprise factors are assessing enterprise limitation.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
this is kind of incorrect. It looks incorrect. So
But
I'll
couldn't there
go
be
with A.
root causes? Couldn't there be root causes in the enterprise limitations as well?
Yeah, I think you're right, Jim. It should be, it can
So,
be. A is the better answer then. Yeah.
Okay, do I have a second vote? Do I have anybody that agrees with A, or do you have a different vote?
I vote for A.
Okay, thank you. And it is correct. Assessing enterprise limitations determines how factors external to the solution are restricting value. Who are the stakeholders that contribute to measuring solution performance? UI expert, developer, regulator, documentation subject matter expert, supervisor, tester, domain and subject matter expert, documentation subject matter expert, regulator, sponsor, user experience expert, supervisor, director, end user, domain subject matter expert, customer, sponsor, developer, customer, domain subject matter expert, project manager, sponsor, and regulator. Are any of those things we can kick out?
Yeah.
First, UI expert, we can eliminate.
Okay, so that means A is eliminated.
We
Also,
can eliminate domain subject matter expert.
Okay, B is eliminated.
I think
And
C.
wait,
B,
domain
sorry, B for
subject matter expert is in all of them.
Supervisor is not a role, so C is eliminated.
Okay,
D is the
And
one.
I don't think
I
I've
think as well.
read director anywhere. So I think it's D.
Yeah.
it is D.
okay, 2 votes for D. Let's check our answers, and you're right.
It's
Customer.
interesting that tester is not on that list. I think
Yes.
that
Tester doesn't measure solution performance.
yeah.
They
I think
assess
that's key
solution
understanding.
limitation.
Ah, good point. Good clarification. Thank you.
That
is the
said, in the real world, there are performance tests.
Yeah.
So,
There
and
are.
sometimes the testers will do them so that's probably an area where the BABOK is being goofy.
Okay, good way to say it. Which input describes the value that may be realized by implementing the proposed future state? It can be used as a benchmark against which solution performance can be evaluated. Solution performance measures, business objectives, potential value, or relationship management.
C, potential value.
Anybody else?
I agree.
Okay, got one agreement, and it is correct. Stephen works in an IT shop in North Carolina as a business analyst. He is in charge of determining what cultural changes are required to better realize value from an existing solution. What is the key action he is accomplishing for the organization? Is he conducting a needs analysis, performing impact analysis, eliminating risk, or performing cultural assessment?
D.
Yeah,
D.
it's D, performing
D.
cultural
Yeah,
assessment.
cultural assessment.
The last option. Yeah.
And that is correct. The corporate office of a financial services company recently locked into a new one-year healthcare plan that, while saving the organization a substantial amount of money for the year, significantly changed the terms of the employees' healthcare plans. That change was found to be the reason for a recent decrease in employee satisfaction. Upon discovery that the change in the healthcare plan caused lower employee satisfaction and considering all other factors, the BA recommended that the organization do nothing. Was this the right recommendation? No, the BA should recommend retiring the solution and introducing another that better meets the employee's needs. No, the BA should recommend a way to enhance it to increase solution value. Yes, it is not feasible or even possible to change it. No, there is always something you can do.
I think it's C. It's not feasible to do anything now because they are locked into a one-year plan.
That's true. So changing the healthcare plan is not possible, but is there anything else they could do?
They
Yeah, they
could,
could offset the costs.
I mean, is C the best answer according to the BABOK?
I think it's C.
Yep.
increasing solution value is what's attracting me to B. Finding a way to increase the solution value. And I wonder, does that include like making another offering, like, well, we've come out with another offering, or somebody said, you know, propose that they get a discount or offset costs, or I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, let's try this one and see what the real answer is. And it is correct. Unfortunately, the organization is locked into the healthcare plan for the calendar year. Good job, guys. The target time for creating printable labels is 4 minutes per 100 labels. Current results range from 3.4 minutes to 7.8 minutes. For the above scenario, what is the term which describes the discrepancy between the expected and actual performance? Is it a variance, known errors, defect, or error?
Variance.
Variance.
Very.
I think we all agree on this one. Let's hope we're right. Yes, it is.
That is the basis of lean, Six Sigma, but not lean. So what you're trying to do in order to reduce errors is ultimately reduce variance. So you're in a smaller band of outputs that will fit in to whatever range you're allowed. So you guys know that implicitly.
Okay. How should solution options that offer potential capabilities above and beyond those identified in the original business case be handled? Ignored. The term for these capabilities is gold plating. Ignored. These were not part of the original business case and are not relevant to the proposed solution. Identified even when not deemed immediately useful. if the organization anticipates using them in the future. Documented and stored a way that is easily accessed for similar initiatives.
It's
This
C.
is-
Yeah, identify. Yeah.
I agree.
Mhm.
Very good. Mainly true for COTS applications. Can anybody tell me what COTS means?
Configurable out of the box solutions.
Very nice.
Or now, actually,
Customized off the
commercial off the shelf.
Yeah.
Customize off the shelf,
Yeah,
No, commercial off the
commercial
shelf.
off the shelf. Ah,
It may or may not be customizable.
they may be, you know, we can use 3 of the features now, but in the future, this one might be useful too.
The other thing that question evokes in my mind is you develop requirements, but say developers will say, here's all the other things this framework should have to fill in the logical things. But if they aren't needed, you should document them but not doing them, because it's extra work, extra maintenance, extra craft that may confuse people, but they should be saved for later use in case they come up to show that people thought about it. You can
Yeah.
even leave stub comments in the code.
I would encourage y'all that if your company is looking for an answer, examine to see what your company already has that they're not using.
Yeah.
Especially in human resources software. My goodness, that stuff has so much in it. Carl is
And test-driven development is a way to make sure you only develop to your requirements, because you develop the test based on your requirements, and then you stop developing when all the tests pass and you don't do extra stuff.
okay. Next question. Carl is a new BA who is anxious to align his activities to best practices and is trying to decide if the task in the strategy analysis or solution evaluation knowledge area should be used for his current assignment. They appear to be so similar. He asks his BA coach how to discern which to use. Which of the following pieces of guidance is most straightforward? Well, that depends. Is your focus on a business problem or an opportunity, or on a solution that is either deployed or about to be deployed or deployed as a pilot? Take a look at the tasks and then score your current assignment against those tasks. Use decision analysis. Use whatever you believe will provide the most value to your current assignment. If an actual solution exists, solution evaluation is probably more pertinent.
Actually, A and D both are correct, but in A, they do not mention what is what. Like if the focus is on business problem, then is it solution evaluation or change strategy? So I think D looks more straightforward to me.
D is in dog?
Yeah, the last
Okay.
option. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Do I have a second vote?
Yeah, kind of A and D is very similar, just phrased differently.
I agree.
I think D is better stated, and it mentions solution evaluation, which is one of the things in the question.
Okay, let's check it. And it is correct. Again, you are a BA trying to understand how the organization's structure will be impacted by a solution. What do you need to assess? Formal reporting structures, alliances and matrix reporting, formal and informal relationships, or the organizational hierarchy?
The formal and informal relationships.
That's what I would have gone with too.
Okay. And it is correct. I think we're going to get a much better score today than we did yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, last week. A COO favors the purchase of a new expensive system to take advantage of the vendor's year-end sale promotion. The organization isn't fully utilizing their current system, and the BA recommends that the organization instead utilize those capabilities. The COO isn't convinced, defers the recommendation, and asks the BA to keep working on it. What's the next logical step for the BA to take? Negotiate decision criteria and ask the COO to assign weight to that criteria. Then objectively score both systems. Recommended taking advantage of the year-end sale given the fact that the COO obviously wants to go in that direction. Negotiate decision criteria and objectively score both systems. Or perform a financial analysis given the new equipment is expensive.
I'm thinking that it's one of those two that mentions decision criteria.
I would think it's A.
Do you like A because the COO is assigned to weight the criteria?
Yes.
Okay.
I think financial analysis wouldn't be a better choice because it is expensive. But
well, it was expensive before the COO said keep working on it, so that hasn't changed.
In theory, most decisions will come down to a financial analysis of the overall cost versus benefit of a solution. And if the existing solution will be better, even if it takes more work, that'll probably be the most cost beneficial. However, the CEO needs to do that. So he or she or it or they need to be involved in it, and an objective score of some kind that everyone supports needs to be involved. So A or C?
I'm thinking D. I'm rethinking and what about net present value, which says what you'd compare is the cost of, say, just grabbing something that's discounted versus the cost over time of implementing this new solution. So financial analysis seems to be something that should drive the decision criteria. And without the financial analysis, how do you drive the decision criteria? Because in decision criteria, don't you have to say, well, if you go this direction, your cost will be this, but your return will be this. And if you go this direction on the decision tree, this is the outcome. So D supports A in that respect.
The question is whether the BABOK will see it that way. Whether they're really talking about A versus C, and watch the answer will be B.
I think I second thoughts. I think it is the decision criteria, as Jim initially mentioned, and they have to decide on the decision criteria, and finance can be one of the decision criteria.
Okay, so let's check it.
A or C, yeah. So
learn. This option would help objectively assess both pieces of equipment based upon a weighted value criteria. And this way the COO gets to decide the weight so that he's emotionally engaged in the decision.
I don't think any question on the actual exam will get down that many levels, but great to chew on in this context.
Good to ask. Good
Yeah, what
conversation.
about the kickback the COO gets?
You're not supposed to know about
The
that.
COO's commission on this is
that's part of the decision analysis. Jenna is
Well, that's real life.
Law sells the software, so.
Jenna is defining performance measures for a solution. The sponsor can define business goals, but Jenna is insistent upon understanding business objectives. Why are the business objectives that important when defining performance measures? Objectives provide a benchmark against which solution performance can be assessed. It is important for a BA to understand what the organization is trying to achieve. Jenna doesn't need business objectives to define performance measures. Business goals will suffice, or business objectives are important for a BA to understand so they have context.
Is it A?
I would say A.
A sounds like the BABOK all over the place. I mean, it's like ringing in the voice of the BABOK. Anu is an experienced business analyst who is working on a project where senior management are looking for her input on the replacement of an existing solution. She has identified the fact that the solution has reached the end of its life. What recommendation should Anu make to senior management? Make organizational changes, retire the solution, reduce complexity of interfaces, or identify additional capabilities?
B.
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 Okay, more than one vote. We're good. Lucas is a BA on a high-profile project. He has determined that the solution is consistently or repeatedly producing ineffective outputs. What should Lucas do in order to address the source of the problem? Problem analysis, impact assessment, cultural assessment, or business rules analysis?
Is it B?
Why do you like B?
Because I don't think it is cultural assessment or business rules analysis. Cultural assessment has nothing to do with the solution which is producing ineffective outputs.
Okay.
I'm actually torn between problem analysis and impact and assessment, but I don't think it's C or D either.
Okay. Do I have a second vote?
I think problem analysis, because they haven't actually identified the actual problem yet. So kind of investigating the root cause of the issue. So
okay.
Could be
You
problem.
said the previous person said A or B, so here's 2 votes for A, and it is correct. This approach will identify root cause and issues that contribute to the creation of ineffective results. What are the inputs to the solution evaluation knowledge area? Implemented solution, external, future state description, business objectives, realized value, implemented solution, external, recommended actions, potential value, solution performance analysis, implemented solution, external, current state description, business objectives, and potential value, or solution performance measures, enterprise limitations, solution limitations, and recommended actions. Are there any of these we can eliminate?
A can be eliminated. Realized value is not any input.
Yeah.
And I'll go with C.
Yeah, C seems correct.
Yes. B, solution performance analysis also. Oh, it is, sorry. C is the right answer. Yeah.
Why do you like C?
Because these are the inputs. All of these are inputs to one or the other tasks. So that's why.
Okay, let's check it. And you are correct.
Just a question on that.
Sure.
When they say external, that means it's external to what? The current business analysis process, or of that particular enterprise effort? It's an external input to what we're talking about, right?
In this step, yeah, that's a great question.
Let me go back to a couple of chapters and we'll try to get there. Well, that's not going to work.
And if we don't have time, I know we got a little bit of a late start. I can go look it up.
Actually, with all the diagrams for input output, it's always been external. Whenever I've seen BABOK, it always says implemented solution in bracket external.
Yeah, but we never thought about why external.
Why it is
That's a good
external.
Yeah,
question.
it does not speak. It says a solution or a component of a solution that exists in some form. It may be an ongoing solution, a prototype, or a pilot, or a beta solution.
But it doesn't explain why it says external.
Yeah,
External,
but I see my
everywhere.
pencil scratches, right? It says I highlighted external and I wrote designed outside of a company or in-house. This is my comments on external.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. Everyone's assignment for next week is to figure out, if you can, what that is and bring it back to us and we can have the discussion.
And
Okay,
when I was reading this implemented solution external, how I thought about it was it's an input to evaluate a solution. So it's coming from somewhere. So it's the
Yeah.
solution is coming from somewhere. So that's why it's maybe external.
That's how I thought of it too.
Literal meaning I'm taking out of it, but we don't know why it is external. That's my
interesting.
thinking.
In
Okay.
other words, it's not something the business analysis process produced. It's something external and we're bringing it into our
Right.
business analysis process.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's my
But
interpretation
the
as well.
difference between, I delineate between the engagement, which is the business analysis process, and the solution, which is the actual analysis and implementation. So, if that helps at all.
Thank you, Bob. Okay, question 21. Which inputs would be leveraged by the business analyst to support measuring solution performance, budget and timeline, current state description, implemented solution external and business objectives, implemented solution internal business objectives?
C for cat.
I think I've got a quorum here and you are correct. A vital application has begun to experience several unplanned outages. 99.7% availability target hasn't been met in 3 months and is steadily worsening. Robbie is the BA assigned to assess the situation. He finds that the application hardware and operating system are solid. However, the circuit supporting the system has become unreliable. There's 3 questions. What is the circuit in this scenario? Is it a solution limitation, a risk enterprise limitation, or a solution component?
Is it
Solution
limitation?
component.
And, well, sorry, guys, and that is correct. Next question. Let me be sure I leave this page with the right one checked. What is the BABOK called Robbie's investigation of this scenario? Is it impact analysis, problem analysis, error investigation, or root cause analysis?
Root cause analysis.
Okay. And problem analysis.
I was actually going to say, because problem analysis is also, we just went by a question where problem analysis does the root cause analysis. So I was going to say problem analysis for this.
So that's a question of case of needing to know what the BABOK says, because I think a couple of these are goofy.
Read the BABOK is what he's saying. And the last question on this scenario, per Robbie's recommendation, a new high-speed circuit was installed on an expedited basis, but the application continued to exhibit outages. Now what should Robbie do? An impact analysis, a root cause analysis, a problem analysis, or an error investigation?
A, I think. A for apple.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Yeah, I think it's A.
A?
I'm sure.
No.
Thanks.
I think again the problem analysis.
Okay, let's find out. Problem analysis is correct.
Why it's not root cause, I do not know.
Maybe root cause analysis is a technique used for problem analysis. Maybe that's.
But that's splitting hairs too far. I mean, do you wanna are you trying to make people great BAs, or are you trying to run a cartel based on Kant? And I'm not interested in cartels.
Okay, root cause analysis is a technique. So at least we know that. I don't know why. Number 25, an organization has sunk $50,000 into a piece of equipment for required repairs. It is broken down once again and the new fix is estimated to cost $20,000. Team members are clamoring to buy new equipment, but the boss said, I've already put $50,000 into this thing. What's 20,000 more at this point? As the team's BA, how do you contribute to the conversation? Agree with the team. Who wants to lose $50,000? The $50,000 is water under the bridge, and though tempting, it shouldn't be used when considering future action. Conduct a financial analysis, including the $50,000, or conduct a financial analysis excluding the $50,000.
So the interesting thing is, what is the cost of new equipment? It's not mentioned there. So maybe
It's not mentioned.
So
but
maybe
that's-
conduct. Mhm.
That's not the question, though.
So
Yeah.
the $50,000 is the definition of sunk cost, right?
Right.
Yep.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so the 20,000 is your investment in future fixes. And so I think the question's pointing to whether you include $50,000 your sunk cost in your financial analysis. Is sunk cost included in financial analysis?
No, so yeah, that's what I was
No,
coming
it's
to. It's
excluded.
a sunk cost, yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
maybe A is
So,
the answer.
B says it's already water under the bridge, right? So it shouldn't be used when considering future action.
So
Yeah.
B and D are saying the same thing, except D is including conducting the financial analysis.
It shouldn't be used.
Right. B and D both say don't use it.
No,
B gets more at the idea of a sunk cost. I have no idea what the answer is gonna say it is, but I think it should be.
I think so too.
maybe.
B or D, was that?
B boy.
B is in boy, let's try
But
it.
then
Majority on.
isn't financial analysis going to predict the future, what you should do in the future? So it's more added value. So D
Everything
is
a
financial.
analysis at that point. And that's true, it is.
Okay, let's try this. And
Oh, sorry,
he was
guys.
right. Okay,
So financial analysis could be one of the future actions. So future B is more inclusive.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is the right?
this says the question asks,
what you're gonna do going forward, you have to write off the past. That's what this is getting at.
so the question that this says, the question asks how you contribute to the conversation. So it's wanting the conversational response to his point, not what the next step should be.
The whole question is goofy, though.
It's
I mean,
goofy.
your analysis and conversation is perfect.
Seems like you do B then D.
Yes, you would do B then D, and that's what it basically said. Okay, guys, we increased our score by 24%.
Woohoo!
Pretty darn good. Do we
And
want
the
to?
conversation was great.
The conversation is what makes us good. And thank you for those of you who participated, especially those of you who participated on camera. That just makes it a whole lot nicer. And I apologize for not being on camera, but my camera is doing that max headroom thing and it's kind of funky. So I decided not to distract myself for y'all. So we got 76%. This is the second time we've gone through this. Do we want to go through it one more time to try to be better? Because obviously we've got a lot of confusion on some of these terms. Or do we want to, first, let me ask, does anybody know if the next chapter is included in the CBAP questions?
The
I
next
believe so.
chapter.
There is at least one question on it.
The underlying competencies chapter.
Yeah.
Are there questions on the underlying competencies on CBAP?
I believe so, at least one, yeah.
Okay, in that case, we are going to.
Yeah, I was studying all chapters.
Okay, here we go. Underlying competencies will be what we go over next week and probably the week after unless we just knock it out of the park next week. Underlying competencies is a chapter that is more about understanding behavior. Then after we finish underlying competencies, we're going to start techniques. Now, techniques takes a lot longer than 2 weeks. Typically, we can get 1 to 3 techniques in per meeting. And what I'd like to do is ask y'all to volunteer to give a synopsis of what the technique is, maybe give an example. If you want to create a 5-page PowerPoint to do it in, great. If you have real life examples, great. But what's most important is that whenever you finish, people understand what the technique is according to the BABOK. Cynthia, you have your hand up.
Yes, I just had a question. For the CBAP, is there a minimum score you have to, a threshold in order to pass?
That is an excellent question, Cynthia. Thank you for asking. There is a minimum score, however, they don't publish it. And they really don't necessarily, I don't think, tell you what you made. They do tell you how you compare to everybody else. In fact, Julia received several of they would say in this knowledge area, you scored much higher than the average, or you scored average. But they don't tell you the score that you have to receive. However, it is the assumption that you need to get about 70% of the answers right, because they're saying they're having 30% of the people that are not passing. So it's just kind of an educated guess. I have another hand. What is your question?
Yeah. So I missed my first 5 minutes, but I think you always tell us what there is some discount code or something which
Yes, ma'am.
learning.
I can show that to you right now.
Yeah, because I would like to. Okay, Tampa 21. Got it. Thank you.
If you go to Watermark Learning and it's Tampa and there's a space right here and 21.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Okay, folks, so next week we will go through the underlying competencies chapter. Even though it's about behavior and things that you already know, things like active listening and stuff like that, please read it. I would love for us to really have a great conversation next week. And this is a very different chapter than the previous chapters that we've gone over, because this is your life in the real world in this chapter. So come next week prepared to go through underlying competencies. We'll go through the practice test questions on those. If we do get an answer to that previous question that we threw out there, why does it say external on those requirements? Y'all bring it back to us and we will go over that. Also, once again, we do need assistance as a chapter to incorporate in the state of Florida. If you have any experience at that, please reach out to us. We just have a few questions that we need to get cleared up. And if you have any financial experience, we would like to pick your brain on that as well. So contact me through LinkedIn. Most of the other folks that are leaders in this chapter are available through LinkedIn as well. If you have specific questions, we're happy to do our best to try to help you. It is our job as leaders of this chapter to help you. So reach out, let us do our job, and we will see you here next week. Y'all have a great time. Have a great week. Be safe.
Thanks for all you do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.